Hey, Dan Meyer here, and I am back once again with more tips for you as a Filipino virtual assistant. And today we're going to focus on interviewing. So I'm here with
Shaye.
Shaye is a virtual assistant extraordinaire. She's actually much more than a virtual assistant, but she started with me as a virtual assistant and became my executive assistant. I'm going to ask Shaye a series of questions. What would it be like to have an interview with an American small business owner, right? And the idea is that these are the common questions you might get asked. So just give us kind of your own personal answers to these questions, just so the audience can see kind of what it would be like.
Yes,
Make sense?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, my name is Dan Meyer. I'm the president and founder of Sonic Virtual Assistant. And if you're watching this, thank you so much for your time. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel. Shaye, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Shaye. I am a virtual assistant for more than 5 years now. I also do social media management, and I like to do content creation. So yes, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff right now, but I'm happy to be here and speaking with you, boss.
Most clients will start out an interview like this. They'll ask you to talk about your skills, introduce yourself, but really focusing in on the skills that you bring to the table. So
yes.
When a client will ask you an interview, tell me about your experience. How do you start?
I usually start with the experience that I've had, especially if you're a newbie virtual assistant. If you do not have prior experience yet, you just have to tell them what you're good at or the experience that you've gained over the past years. As for me, I've been a virtual assistant for over 5 years now, and I will highlight that experience. I started in the BPO industry as well. In the BPO industry, I've honed my communication skills, dealing with American clients and speaking with them. So that's one factor, and that's one thing that I can highlight and that I can showcase. So my communication skills, that's something that I can bring to the table, not just my oral communication, but also my written communication. I'm also very organized, so that's one thing that I can tell my client and pitch myself for. But aside from that, I'm very willing to learn. I'm highly easy to train. I also get myself to doing things even without supervision. So I like to learn by myself. I'm a fast learner. I've also had experience with data management, executive assistants, email management, and social media. So right now I'm focusing more on social media because I enjoy it myself. I like to handle my social media, create my own contents, and I love to do that for people so that I can help them grow their business.
That's great. And that's what typically you'll find is that a good interview will be where the VA will go through all their experiences. Mm-hmm. Now, what Shaye didn't do is go through step by step of her resume, right? So that gets kind of boring. People want to hear more about what you've actually done. And so when you kind of weave it into kind of like just a list of the things that you're able to accomplish, your personality will come out. Your passion for those things will come out when you're talking about it. And if you see what Shaye just did, that's exactly what comes across. Mm-hmm. So I do want to make 2 points, if you don't mind, right? The point number one is I tell a lot of Filipino VAs that they should have a short answer to the question to start with. Why are they doing what they're doing? What is it about being a virtual assistant that they love? And start with that. And then go to all the skills that you have and all the experiences you have. So I would say I have a passion for connecting virtual assistants with business owners. I love to see success on both sides. And so I can do all these things with that dream in mind. So if you had to think about summing everything you do as a VA up and what it makes you feel inside in one sentence, what would that be?
I'm passionate at helping small business owners grow their brand through social media or executive management and be of help to them and help them in any way I can as a virtual assistant.
So that's it exactly, right? So start with that and then go through the list of all your stuff. The second point I would tell you is that you have experience and you talk about that. Mm-hmm. But what if you're a VA with no experience? How should you handle that question? And I have an answer, which is my second point, but I want to get your read on it first. So if you were asked, do you have to have experience to be a VA? What would you say?
Of course, I'd have to be upfront and tell them that I don't, but I'm very willing to learn and that I am willing to go above and beyond just to catch up and learn what I have to.
Right. And that's exactly what people want to hear, but you got to follow it up with something. This is my second point, is that when you're talking about yourself, no matter what your experience is, never show weakness. Never show that you don't have experience. Never use the words, I don't have experience as a VA, or I don't have job experience. Don't be negative, right? Turn around what you do have into a positive. Did you go to college? Did you finish high school? Do you have skills you learned from doing projects in school? Do you volunteer in your community, in your church? Do you have something in your family where you're providing leadership or solving problems, anything like that is experience you can bring up. So when you first started as a virtual assistant, you already had work experience, right?
Yes.
So you had worked in the city or local government, right? So that's perfect experience, right? You had a boss, you had to follow rules, you had to learn new skills. Never tell anybody that you don't have experience. All right, so we have more tips coming for you, so get ready.